Hey guys, what's up? I just wanted to talk to you about like a literal miracle that God did in my life, and hopefully it'll be like an encouragement. My notes say November 25th. Around that time, a hard, painful lump developed on my body. But 2020 was just such a tough year for me, spiritually, with me and God. Like, He was great, I wasn't. He kept showing me over and over and over and over again how good He was. But for some reason, my little brain wasn't understanding and wasn't getting it. And I've never been in that dark of a place before in my entire life, where God would outward show how good He is, and I just didn't believe it, or I couldn't believe it, or I didn't understand why He was being good. Like, when that lump developed on my body, I thought just the worst. I thought I was being punished because I'm not understanding. And so, you know what? You want to think that God is bad, or you want to keep assuming that God is bad? Well, here you go. Are you really, really sure? Like, well, this is what happens. God has shown you that He's good and you chose not to believe Him. So you're on your own now, kiddo. And that's genuinely what I thought. And I thought that I deserved it. The worst. Big C, hospital, I might die, like just every little thing that you can think of. Amidst all the bad stuff that had been happening in 2020, I still knew that God was good. So I knew I had a choice to make, which was to trust Him or just throw up my hands and be like, well, that's it. And so I tried to trust Him. It was back and forth, not gonna lie. And at the time, I was kind of on this work-based relationship with God where as long as I'm good, God has a reason to be good to me. Because I was kind of on this work-based thing, I didn't think that He would like hear me, or He would care, or I was just getting what I deserved. I tried to just believe that He was good, and so I started listening to healing scriptures on YouTube and looking at healing verses in the Bible, looking at Jesus's character, looking through examples of miracles happening in the Bible, and just in my life, just my own personal life. I remember writing on my phone one night all the bad things that had happened, and then out of those bad things, how good things came from them. He's never let anything truly bad happen to me. So this hopefully won't be any different. And it was an up and down journey, like the whole week. I was not 100% confident if I was going to be healed, if it was going to be okay, if I was going to get a good diagnosis or not. I really wasn't. I fell back, and there were nights when I was just like, oh man, I deserve this. This is terrible. And then I made a decision like, okay, I'm going to let myself feel these things, but then I'm going to choose to trust God despite my feelings. And I think that's really what helped. Despite how I was feeling about the situation, just choosing to trust God. God, you got me. You got me. I know. It wasn't like that. It was like, oh, I have to trust God now. I have no other choice. Let's just believe Him, take Him at His word, regardless of my circumstances, my feelings. Let's just believe God. And so that's just what I did. I filled myself with healing scriptures. I watch sermons every day, uplifting, happy sermons, listen to uplifting, happy Bible verses, try to just believe in good things. I had to remind myself of all the times that He's helped me, regardless of my circumstances. And so I had to battle a lot of thoughts of like, you're going to die. You're going to the hospital. If you go to the hospital, you're going to get COVID. Hope you enjoy these last 24 years, because like, goodbye, and just everything. And I had to speak out loud against those thoughts and speak out loud how good God has been. Believe, even if I didn't feel like it. Like, I've learned that faith and belief, you can have faith in something and believe in something without feeling like it's going to be okay. Like, you may not know in your gut that it's going to be okay, but you can still believe that it's going to be okay. And amidst all this, my symptoms were getting worse. The swelling got worse. The itching got worse. The pain increased. Like, the whole week, the more I was speaking how good God is and how loving He is and how He can do anything, forget not His benefits, my symptoms kept getting worse. It took everything in me to not throw up my hands and just give up, really. But I tried, And like I said, it wasn't perfect. I did as best as I could at that time. And what really, I guess, made me downhearted was just a couple of years ago, I would have been like on fire and like knowing that God's got me and, everything is fine. And 2020, I just was not there spiritually. I just really wasn't. It scared me that I wasn't there. And I was also getting really down on myself because, oh, you should have more faith. You're a Christian. You're supposed to believe X, Y, and Z. You're not supposed to think these bad things. Like, every negative, mean feeling that you could think of to discourage me was on me. I just had to hold on to that little teeny tiny bit of me that believed. The night before my doctor's appointment, the bump or the cyst or the lump or whatever it was not gone. Still had bad symptoms. It's been a week about, with this thing. And I remember just crouching down on the kitchen and humbling myself and being really honest with God. I think that was like the first time that I have ever been just flat out, I need to just talk to you and be real with you right now. And I remember praying like, God, I don't trust you the way that I used to trust you. And I'm really sorry. I wish that I did, but I don't. But I know that your word says that you just need faith the size of a mustard seed. And so here is the faith that I do have. I know that it's not what it used to be, but I know that you're good. I know it. I know it. And even if I haven't been good, I know that you're good. And I am giving all of that to you. All of it. Here's what I do have. So I was just really, really just honest and upfront and let your will be done. Not mine, but yours. And so I went to bed and I woke up around like 3 a.m. that morning, was just swarmed with negative feelings and doubts, just awful things about God. These thoughts were talking about, well, realistically, it'll probably go like this. You should probably prepare for the worst, hope for the best, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know what came over me, but I got mad at the thoughts and the feelings for being so against God. I remember sitting up in my bed and I decided, like, no, come against me all you want, but do not come against God. I remember just saying, like, no, I don't serve a realistic God. I serve a miracle working God. And no matter how the situation turns out, I'm going to trust him. Even if it doesn't turn out how I want it to, I'm trusting him. When I said I have a miracle working God, and I stood by God, no matter what those feelings said, I felt something shift. I don't know what it was, but it felt in the atmosphere like something shifted. But I was a lot more mad. I was a lot more upset than I am now. And I went to bed, and I woke up that morning, and there was a really ominous, heavy feeling in the air. Just really bad, really negative. And I decided to praise and worship him. Despite those negative feelings, despite the negative thoughts that kept coming, I went to shower, and I didn't feel the lump anymore, but I was scared to hope that it was gone. It didn't seem like it was possible. I was still trying to be realistic, but I did get excited for like a minute. I did get excited, like, well, God does work miracles, maybe he worked a miracle on me, who knows? Just stay neutral about it. And so on the way to the doctor, I played worship music, and I just praised him and I thanked him no matter what. Went in for my doctor's appointment. You're there and you're looking up at the ceiling and being like, oh, this is it. This is it. I can't stop anything now. But I decided just keep praising, keep thanking him, keep trusting him. And she came in, she looked, and she felt. She seemed really confused. And she's like, can you show me where it's at? And I tried to show her. I really tried to feel for it. I tried to find it, and it was gone. It was completely gone. The swelling, the pain, it was gone. It wasn't there anymore. No, she said some long medical term of what it could have been, but she basically said that whatever was there is healing. And she said, if it gets worse, then maybe I'll have to be on antibiotics, or she'll take a sample. I didn't have to take any antibiotics. I didn't have to take any creams, any medicines, anything. And y'all, when I tell you the way that I praised Jesus after that, and what I loved the most and what I learned from that is that it's not about our hearts. It's not about how we feel. It's not about, because at the time, I was at this really just rocky place with God. Like, he had no reason, none, to save me or then to help me. No reason. In fact, by human flawed standards, it's kind of what I deserved. But the good thing about serving God is that he doesn't reward us according to what we deserve. He just blesses us. Like, if I didn't know that God was for me, I knew it then. And even now, nothing can take away what he did for me. And it was not based on me, it was based on him. And my pastor was saying about God, for his own name's sake, he'll help us. And I didn't understand it at the time, but I think I do. And I think it basically means that, like, God is so good, and he wants us to know how good he is, and he wants us to trust in him. So he's going to show us how good he is, regardless of where we are at, so that we can trust him more and he can bless us. If you don't believe in God, or you don't trust him right now, or you think that you're too far gone, he's not embarrassed of you. He's not ashamed of you. He's not going to be mad at you because you've gotten yourself in a bad situation. He's not looking at you with judgment or anger. His arms are open wide. He just wants your heart. You can start with little things, like just saying, good morning, Jesus. Good morning, God. And just see how your day or your weeks go. Start over something small. Maybe pray over your food. Start really small. And just see what he does in your life. And you don't have to have read any of the Bible. You don't have to have, listen to any scripture. Just be honest with him, Like, just be honest and real. And he'll show you who he is. And he's good. He's really, really, really good. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, just trust God. It'll be the best thing you ever do in your entire life. I'll see you next week. Okay.